fire, ice, and blood. This is the stuff of creation, as told by the Old Norse mythos. In all, there were 9 realms of existence, interwoven by an endless tree between space and time. Welcome to Teller's Compendium. Join us as we explore the origin of the universe from the Old Norse mythology of pre-12th century Scandinavian, Northern Germanic, and Icelandic cultures. If you enjoy this story, please give it a like and consider subscribing. In the beginning, there was only nothingness, a mighty void called Ginnungagap. The first worlds to appear in the void were polar opposites. A cold and misty realm of water and ice in the north, called Niflheim, and in the south, a bright realm of sparks and fire, called Muspelheim. In the center of dark and misty Niflheim, there was a great well, called Vergramir, from which sprang many rivers. These rivers spilled into Ginnungagap, freezing into glaciers, deep within the cold expanse. In the south lay Muspelheim, a glowing and burning realm full of fire and light. A great fire giant named Surtur sits there brandishing a flaming sword, waiting for the end of the world, Ragnarok, when he shall go forth, vanquish the gods, and burn the world in fire. In the center of Ginnungagap, the glaciers of ice and frost flowing from Niflheim met the heat emanating from Muspelheim. The ice and frost began to melt, which rained down in Ginnungagap, giving life to a Jotun called Ymir. Ymir was the first Jotun, and it is said that while he slept, a sweat from the heat of Muspelheim came upon him, and from his sweat grew 2 more Jotnar, while one of his feet begat a son with the other foot. And so the frost giants were born. In the Norse mythology, Jotnar, the plural of Jotun, are a group of beings very similar to the gods. They are often incorrectly depicted as being giants, although Ymir himself may have been gigantic in a physical sense. Rather, it is more correct to see them as another group of deities or entities, very much like the Titans of Greek mythology. They may represent a chaotic or more primitive pantheon of gods, and often vary in appearance. Jotnar may appear like a man or god, or monstrous, such as a great wolf or world-encircling serpent, like the children of the god Loki. Before the other Jotnar were born, Ymir was not alone in the Ginnungagap. With him there was a cow called Atumla, and Atumla nourished Ymir with her milk. However, there was nothing for Atumla to eat, as the Ginnungagap was without grass. So she licked the salty ice that flowed from Niflheim for sustenance. As Atumla licked the ice, there came forth a man, who is called Buri. Buri begat a son called Bor, who, with the Jotun Bestla, had 3 mighty sons, the first of which was Odin, the second was Vili, and the third Ve. It was Odin who would later be known as the Allfather of gods and men, and ruler of heaven and earth. The sons of Bor, Odin, Vili, and Ve, set upon the great Ymir and slew him, and from his body they made the world as we know it today. From Ymir's blood came the seas and water. From his flesh they made the earth, and the mountains from his bones. With Ymir's hair they made the trees. From his teeth came the stones and gravel. With his skull they made the sky, and cast his brains into the air to make the clouds. They took sparks from Muspelheim to create the stars and light the sky. Burrowing in Ymir's flesh there were maggots, which the gods formed into dwarves, 4 of which held up the sky at its 4 corners, north, south, east, and west. It is interesting to note that author J.R.R. Tolkien, who wrote The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, gathers some of his mythology from the Norse creation story, including the names of many dwarves and other characters that appear in his books, including Durin, the first dwarf, Thorin, Balin, Kili, Fili, Ori, Nori, Bambur, and others, as well as Gandalf, the wizard. The sons of Bor carved the first man from an ash tree, and the first woman from an elm. One god gave them spirit and life, another gave them wit and feeling, and the third gave them form, speech, hearing, and sight. The gods clothed them and gave them names. The woman was called Embla, and the man was called Oscar. In the middle of this world they had created, the gods raised Ymir's eyebrows to wall off a realm safe from the Jotnar, and called it Midgard, a realm for men. And in the center of this, they made a realm for themselves and the other gods, called Asgard. A shining rainbow bridge, called Bifrost, connects Midgard and Asgard. At the center of Asgard grows a great ash tree called Yggdrasil, the World Tree, whose limbs spread out over the world and stand above heaven. Great roots uphold this tree and stand broad, one among the gods in heaven, another grows towards Jotunheim, land of the frost giants, under which is Mimir's well, in which Odin sacrificed an eye to drink from. A third grows above Niflheim, under which lies the great well of Vergelmir. In the well lives a dark dragon, Nidhogr, which gnaws at the roots from below. Another well lies at the base of Yggdrasil, in Asgard, Urdur's well. The tree and the well are tended to by the Norns, Urdur, Vertandi, and Skuld, who scribe the destiny of gods and men on the branches of the World Tree. These wells feed Yggdrasil until the time of Ragnarok, when it shall be consumed in fire. But that is another story. In addition to Muspelheim, Niflheim, Jotunheim, Midgard, and Asgard, there was Vanaheim, home of the Vanir gods, Alfheim, the land of the light elves, Nidavellir, the realm of the dwarves, and lastly, Helheim, the realm of the dead. It may be impossible to construct a model in 3D space that accurately depicts how these realms are placed, because while some realms have distinctive borders and separations from each other, they are also intertwined. Some of these worlds appear geographically located, while others seem to exist in different dimensions. This is likely a reflection of how the Old Norse envisioned their world. Most of these stories of Norse mythology come from translations of the Prose Edda, a medieval Icelandic account written around the turn of the 13th century by Snorri Sturluson, as well as the Poetic Edda, a collection of poems whose origins may be earlier. These myths were passed down in an oral tradition by storytellers and bards, perhaps around a fire like this one, for hundreds of years before they made it to these written sources. Let us know in the comments below if you would like to hear more stories about Norse mythology and culture. If you enjoyed this video, check out this one on the Greek creation story, or this one on the Egyptian creation story. And please give it a like. Subscribe to be alerted when we upload more stories. Thank you for watching.